Well, it's the lawsuit rocking Hollywood and pulling back the curtain on the PR machines that run it. Actress Blake Lively is taking legal action against her co-star and director in the hit movie It Ends With Us, Justin Baldoni, as well as 6 other defendants. The accusations are detailed in a scathing new New York Times report that details a legal complaint filed by Blake Lively, where she alleges there was a smear campaign aimed at tarnishing her reputation. The complaint against Baldoni is full of sexual harassment accusations with claims of unwanted advances, including unscripted kissing, discussions about pornography on set, and nudity violations, with Baldoni entering Lively's trailer while she was changing or nursing her baby. Here to help us understand the case and the Hollywood machine behind the allegations is Los Angeles-based employment attorney specializing in sexual harassment cases, AngelaReddock-Wright. Angela, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the show. So we've talked about the sexual harassment allegations in detail, but there are more allegations in Lively's complaint. Explain to us what she means when she refers to astroturfing in her complaint.
Astroturfing is essentially what you said, is the act of engaging in a smear campaign against someone where a PR firm, as in this instance, is alleged to have recruited individuals who seem to be, everyday individuals just starting a grassroots campaign that speak against the person at issue, and in this sense, Blake Lively. And she alleges that there was a very active astroturfing smear campaign against her during the time that they were promoting the movie this past summer.
You know, Angela, the Me Too movement was supposed to clean up Hollywood, but years later, here you have Blake Lively, who is an A-list actress and part of this Hollywood it couple, allegedly being subject to sexual harassment. And as perhaps this new twist to the harassment, as you talked about, this alleged smear campaign to really discredit her in case she tried to speak out, as she's doing now. Have we made any progress since 2016?
Absolutely. And this case, although the allegations are quite interesting and, full of details, we shouldn't see it as necessarily a step back, but just the empowering of women like Blake Lively and others in coming forward when they feel that something improper has occurred to them. In the Me Too movement, we saw organizations like SAG-AFTRA, the Directors Guild, and other organizations really step up to provide greater protections to their members. And we've seen a number of cases come forward, not just in Hollywood, but in other sectors as well. And we can credit the Me Too movement for that.
You know, another phenomenon that we saw come out of the Me Too movement was in people who are accused of the harassment being canceled quickly before any kind of really due process. And here, Baldoni was dropped by his talent agency within days of these allegations. Do you think that was right?
Well, it's not a matter of whether it was right or not. I think we're living in a cancel culture in general. So I think it's reflective of that. And we also have to remember that this is not necessarily, it's not a criminal case, right? So it's not, hey, you can't take action until he's been proven guilty. Organizations, employers, agencies are in contractual relationships with such individuals as Mr. Baldoni. And I imagine that he had something in his contract that says, if certain things occur or are alleged to have occurred, we can take action to cancel our relationship. And we have to remember that they, Lively and Baldoni, are part of the same agency. So clearly in this situation, the agency decided to take steps, in favor of their client also, Blake Lively.
Yeah, that's a good point. Lively claims that there was an all-hands-on-deck HR meeting, which took place back in January, where Blake says that she aired her complaints and the production studio agreed to implement safeguards, including hiring an intimacy coordinator and an outside producer. Talk to us about these intimacy coordinators. We hear a lot about them. How do they actually work? And do you think that they actually help protect against sexual harassment?
Well, that's an area where we've seen improvements as a direct result of the Me Too movement. So intimacy coordinators existed before the Me Too movement, but what we saw following or as a part of that movement, particularly with SAG-AFTRA and its members, is an enhancement to the policies and the protocols related to intimacy coordinators. And those are individuals who are basically trained to provide oversight for sex scenes, nudity scenes, or scenes where there's going to be physical intimacy controversy between two actors or more. And they are there to advocate for the actor. They're there to provide choreography, suggestions as to how that scene may be played out in a safe way. They're there to ensure protection and to be a liaison between the actor and the producer, the director, and the powers that be that are giving oversight to that particular production.
All right, so we have about 15 seconds left. Do you see this going to a jury trial in the future?
You know, right now, I mean, the lawsuit's been filed. So certainly, you know, if it goes all the way, it will go to a jury trial. But I'm a mediator in my everyday life, and I see, you know, high profile cases like this settle every day. So I would not be surprised to see if we see a mediation and a settlement at some point. But right now, the parties seem really, you know, far apart in terms of how they're seeing things. So I think we're going to see a fight for a little bit before we see any type of settlement.
AngelaReddock-Wright, thank you so much for your time tonight. All right, Lively released a statement about this situation saying, quote, "I hope my legal action pulls back the curtain on these sinister tactics and protects others who may be targeted." Meanwhile, Baldoni's team denies any wrongdoing, calling Lively's claims false and salacious, and accuse her of fabricating stories to harm the studio.